Okay, example 2, solve for a. mx over y plus d over a plus b is equal to p. Basically the same structure as the last problem, but notice this time the denominators are y and a plus b. We have a binomial denominator, a plus b, so the least common denominator here is y times a plus b. Okay, so keep that in mind that a plus b is a factor. It's going to be treated as a single object when we do this multiplication. Now, when I do multiply through, I'm multiplying this times this. Cancel first, so y cancels y, so I'm left with mx times a plus b. When I do this times this, the a plus b cancels a plus b, I'm left with dy. And when I do this times this, p, y, and a plus b all get multiplied together. Now my advice, when you're dealing with it, we got y times a plus b, a monomial times a binomial being multiplied by something else. Put all the monomial stuff at the front. Okay, I've seen people put p times a plus b times y, separating things like, it's not wrong to have that, but it's a lot better to get all your monomial stuff at the front. That way you do one simple distributive property here, py times both things. Instead of doing p times both things, then y times both things, just easier, right? So, if you do have monomial pieces, single objects like that, just stick them all together in front times the binomial. If you have a couple binomials, then I put the monomial first, the binomials next, FOIL all the binomials, then distribute the monomial. In other words, if I had x times a plus b times c plus d, something like that, I would do this first. Then I'd multiply x times everything. So if you have that kind of multiplication, but again, at some point it's going to happen. That first, then the monomial multiplication, that's the best way to do that. Anyway, that's what this problem is. So mx times a plus b, dy is fine, py times a plus b, both those things have to be fixed. So this is going to be amx plus bmx plus dy equals apy plus bpy. Okay. At no point in time when I was doing those steps did I care what I was solving for. Because again, it doesn't matter what I'm solving for. Priority one of these problems is to get a problem looking like this down to a bunch of terms that aren't fractions or parentheses. Once you get to a point, there's no fractions, no parentheses, now I can care about what I'm solving for. This says very clearly solve for a. So everything containing a is more important than everything else. So if I look at my terms, amx has a in it, bmx, dy, apy has a in it, bpy doesn't. So those two highlighted terms are the most important terms. Everything else not highlighted is not as important. Again, we have choices to make. Where do we want things to go? So do we want a on right or left?
Left.
Left. I heard left first. Okay. Yeah, there's no wrong answer to that question. So don't get hung up on that question. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Put it on the side. Take a pick. I heard left first. We'll do that. So apy is going to the left because it has a. Bmx and dy are going to the right because they don't. So if I move apy to the left, keep amx on the left, everything on the left will have a. Bmx and dy come over here with bpy, everything on the right has no a. That's our goal here. So amx minus apy, that stayed where it was, it stayed positive, that moved, it became negative, equals. bpy is staying where it's at, so it's staying positive. Both of these things are moving, they become negative. Like so. And just like the last problem, once you get to this point where you have everything on one side containing what you care about, a, there's a in both of those things, that's a common factor, you pull it out. The right hand side, nothing happens to it during that step. Final step in the process, divide both sides by only mx minus py. Do not ever divide by what you're trying to solve for. I'm trying to find a, bless you. Trying to find a, I don't divide by a. I keep a over there by itself. Everything that's attached to a is going to be divided out. mx minus py and mx minus py go away, leaving a bpy minus bmx minus dy on top over mx minus py on the bottom. There's my answer. Okay. As they continue making these problems uglier, the answer is going to be bigger and bigger. You have like 6 terms over 5 terms like that. I mean, it depends on how many things are going on up in here. Again, what's being multiplied together, how many foils have to happen and everything like that. the more like binomials are there, the more terms you're going to get here. All right. However many terms you have here, there's a total of 5 terms. That's how many terms you should have in your answer. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And again, the most common mistake I'm seeing at this point is still people put an A on the bottom. Don't do that. Don't divide by what you're trying to solve for. Only divide by the stuff being multiplied by it.